Hello! Welcome to the Carney Dirt Studio here in the wonderful woodlands of Missouri. I had a friend who kind of connected with my Patreon for the first time yesterday, and I was just like, she shared my post and everything, and I was just like, dude, thanks so much for the support, super appreciated. And she was like, yeah, no problem. What the fuck is going on with Patreon? And I was like, oh yeah. It seems like this really far out concept, and I just want to take a couple of minutes to explain it to people, like in as short as I can, which says a lot because I'm a rambler. So I made notes, don't worry. What is Patreon? So essentially it is a virtual hat. So just like you would see a musician on the corner or a painter on the corner, and you'd be like, wow, thanks for the art, and you throw $1 in their hat or in their guitar case or whatever. This is what Patreon is. Super simple. So if you like what somebody's doing and they're on Patreon, you can get on there and throw $1 in their hat. It's set up kind of just like a social media page would be. So, you know, everybody has a profile and, you know, all that kind of stuff. You can comment on there, all that kind of thing. And then all the creators, of course, have a page. Basically, it's a support system for creators. So there's musicians, writers, illustrators, poets, all kinds of people on there. And basically, it's just their support system. So whereas like Kickstarter or something like that might provide money for them once, this is like an ongoing thing, month to month, unless of course like your patrons cancel it or something like that. The other thing is it's an intimate place to connect with creators. So if there's like a musician you really love, or an artist you love, or a writer or something like that, and you kind of want to know more about what's going on behind the scenes, this is a really great place to find out about that kind of stuff. Why do I use it personally? I use it to get that ongoing support from fans and from other people who have known me a while and followed me. And then I also use it to talk about like the more intimate details of some of my creative processes. And it funds anything from really small things, like for instance just covering my website fees, which are like $20 a month, on up to like covering gas if I have to like install large projects, art supplies, all of that kind of stuff. But really it's a place for connection and for understanding and for conversation. And then last of all, why would you use it? So if you're a creator, if you're a maker, if you're a musician, if you're a writer, any kind of things like that, I would highly suggest you get on there. It kind of helps you sort of look back at your process and kind of realize why you do or don't do some of the things that you do. And then it also gives you a pretty good timeline. Like I can look back last year and see every single one of my big projects that I did on my Patreon page, and that's really cool too. So it helps you grow in your craft, regardless of what that may be. It's also just an extra, you know, it's extra funding, man. Like if Aunt Martha wants to give you $5 a month, like let her take the donut, let her. And then the other thing too, even if you're not a maker or creator, you know, or even if you are, like I have makers and creators that I support from my Patreon page, to where I'm giving them like $1 or $5 or $10 a month or something like that. And so in turn they give me rewards. So whereas like my $1 rewards might be like a digital download or something like that, my $5 or $10 rewards might be like actual art in the mail. So yeah, that's pretty much it. in a nutshell, in a very hurried nutshell. If you have any questions or comments or anything, or if you want to know more, like, holler out. I will do my best to assist.